Hello, my name is Miss Davy, and I am the owner and educator here at Tada Childcare. Today, I'm here to talk to you all about different things to think about when you are enrolling your child in childcare. So, I have three things that you as a parent could look out for when enrolling your child. Thing number one is the staff. Does there seem to be a shortage of staff? Does the staff seem to be kind of frazzled and all over the place just because you're there? These are things that could possibly be red flags when you are enrolling your child in a child care or going for a child care tour. So, if staff is on top of doing their job and making sure things are organized as far as the forms and the paperwork and everything, as well as ratio sizes, which we'll get into next, and just the cleanliness of the center, then they really wouldn't have too much of a reason to be frazzled, razzled, and nervous when a parent comes. So if they seem disturbed by the fact that you have arrived at the childcare, keep your eyes peeled to look around for other things that may be going on. Now, they could just be a nervous person or a little anxious in general naturally, but that is something to look out for. Tip number two, when you are in a childcare, listen out for the way that the staff is speaking with other staff, as well as other parents that may be there when you were there, and the children. If the staff is fussing and yelling and, constantly just scolding the children, that is definitely something to look out for. Because if they're doing that while you're there, what could possibly happen when you're not there? So if they're not even, being cognizant of the way that they're speaking to children and other parents in your presence, then it would only be worse when you're not there. So also just keep an ear open for the way that they're speaking with the children. More importantly, the children. And then tip number three, things to look for are ratio sizes. So knowing the ratio for each age group. So if it's an infant room and you're enrolling your young baby, then the ratio size is 1 adult to 4 children here in the state of Michigan. I can only speak for Michigan. So if there are more than 4 infants in a room and there's only 1 adult, that is a red flag. Because if the ratio is not in compliance with what the state allows for, then it's going to be hard for them to give each individual baby the attention and care that they need. So you don't want to walk into an infant room and see 7 to 10 babies and there's only 1 teacher there, because that teacher is going to get overwhelmed and she's not going to be able to be attentive to all 7 or 10 of those babies. The ratio is 4. So you want to be cognizant of those ratio sizes. Now, if you have a preschooler, then the ratio is 1 to 10 children in certain states with certain age groups of preschools. So just making sure that you are aware of what the ratio size is for your child's age group, and being on top of making sure that there are enough adults to care for your child in that classroom. Now, if you happen to see that they are not in compliance with the ratio for your child's age group, you have the right to ask about that. You have the right to ask the child care teacher or the director or owner, whoever is conducting the tour for you. You have the right to ask them, what is the ratio for this room, for this age group? And if they're telling you that, you want to kind of like eyeball the room and see, does it look like they are in compliance with this ratio? Because if not, that's probably not the best place to leave your child. And lastly, with things to look out for, look for a license. If you don't see a license posted, once again, you are the customer. You are the parent. You have a right to ask, are they a licensed child care? And if they are, you also have the right to see it. You should want to see the child care license posted before you enroll your child and leave them in their care of this center, this facility. So whether it is a center-based childcare or a home-based childcare or on a military installation, it does not matter. If they are licensed, then you know that they are in compliance and you can feel comfortable with that. Some childcares are not licensed, and if you're okay with that, if you're comfortable with that, then that is also fine. But personally, I always check for the license. I check for ratios. I listen to how the staff is speaking to other parents and to the children. And I'm always smelling, making sure I don't smell an overwhelming smell of diapers in every single classroom or in the hallways, because that could be an indicator that proper cleaning and frequent diaper changes are not being done. So those are things that I'm always aware of. I incorporate my senses. So eyes, look for the ratios, look for the license, and I'll show you a sample. That is what a child care license was. Posted on the wall. I have mine on a painted canvas that me and the kids made just to make it look more interesting, not just a plain one. I also look for daily schedule to know that schedule and structure going on, and that way me as a parent, I know what's going on with my child's care and education throughout the day. And I usually take a picture of the license. I take a picture of the schedule. But I mean, I do these things because I have been in early childhood for 15 years, so I kind of know the things to look for. And that's why I thought it was important for me to share with you all what to look for. I also look for, I ask for that, and I try to keep a copy with me. So if you are a parent enrolling your child in childcare, this is an old one as a sample, but having a school closure date, so it's going to be closed. And lastly, I know I said 3, I'm like on number 5, but those are a couple extra ones. Easter egg, woo! Last but not least, and something that most parents already do, because when you're looking up a childcare, you're probably going on Google and asking for a childcare near me. So when you do that, also look at reviews. Check for Google reviews. There are an outstanding amount of negative reviews. That's probably not the place you want to send your child. If there are positive reviews, then those are great things to consider about your child's education and their care. Also looking around, fire extinguishers, smoke detectors, those are things to definitely look out for. So, and books. Are there books? Are we reading? It's a little chaotic today. I have preschoolers, so sometimes they throw the books up there upside down and things like that. And we're rolling into nap time. So that's when I use that time wisely to organize our books, sanitize surfaces, and things like that. So that way, if parents walk in for a tour, then it's clean, it's smelling fresh, the temperature is just right. And yeah, you want to make sure that your child care is together. So if you're a child care owner, these are things for you to consider. Making sure that you are taking that diaper genie out so it doesn't smell like diapers all day, because you never know. A parent can just last minute decide, I know this child care is around the corner. Let me pop in and see what they're all about so I can take my child and, explore the possibilities of enrolling them. And you don't want to ruin the chances of a new parent enrolling because it smells like trash, it's dirty, there's things everywhere. I mean, sometimes you can't help it. I mean, it might be changing time, it might be lunchtime, and those times are a little chaotic. So me as a childcare owner, I usually don't schedule tours around changing time, around table, like small group time, because the children are learning and that will kind of, divert their attention. And I try not to do it around meals either, because those are the most chaotic times of day because there's so many moving parts. So you want to make sure you're scheduling things in a way that makes sense, that's going to highlight you as an educator and as a child care facility in the best way possible. And as a parent, let's not forget our senses. Look for that license. Look for those ratios. Listen to how the staff is speaking to the children and parents. Smell for any overwhelming smells in the building that could possibly alert if they're cleaning and changing diapers as frequent as possible. And then also, are they able to answer your questions well? So those are things to consider when you are looking at childcare to enroll your children. I hope that was helpful. If you'd like more parent tips, parenting classes, nanny services, or to enroll your child in childcare, you can reach out to me at tadachildcare.com, or you can schedule an enrollment tour at calendly.com/tadachildcare. Thanks for tuning in. I hope that was helpful. Until next time, peace and spread love.